Hello, and welcome to Code and Pixels with Kelly and Adekunle.
In today's episode, we'll be digging into the hiring situation and what it's looking like trying to interview in the middle of AI hype. Kelly, how are you doing?
Hey, so unfortunately, this topic hits close to home. Unfortunately, my role was impacted by AI, and so I was part of the 3,000 folks impacted at Intuit, and I think it was also the same day as the Meta layoffs too. So it was a rough day in tech for sure.
Yeah, that must have been tough. I'm wondering like how things are going and how you're processing things cuz I know layoffs could be tough, but everyone has their own ways of handling things. I'm wondering what's your process looking like so far.
I wanted to take a step back. I've been doing pure software engineering for the past couple years and I liked doing it. It was focused on more of the centralized platform of front end rendering. So it was a lot of dev experience, which I absolutely love doing DevX design experience and that kind of work. But I really missed design and I kind of wanted to take this opportunity to go back to more of that design focus. But the problem is I don't have a portfolio or anything. So I've been spending the past few weeks revamping my website. So switched over to Astro and just kind of been building out case studies and kind of seeing what the flow is now between Figma and AI. And in our previous episode, we chatted with TJ Petrie, who works over at Figma, and I actually got to try out the Figma MCP, and it was really interesting, how Figma could talk to Cursor and back and forth, and I thought that was really cool. How about you? What's been going on with you?
I'm still doing contract work. At Grammarly and whatnot. I also have to. I try to do the case where I always try to document my case study as I'm going, like
That's
doing the
smart.
work, because I hate doing case studies. It's like one of the things where I'm like, anytime I have to do it, I dread it. I hate creating slides and whatnot. So I'm switching over from Google Slides to Figma. Figma Slides actually. So it's been pretty good so far. It's like you have more flexibility with the design aspect of it, but again, most of the stuff is just around like creating those case studies because I just want to at least be prepared just in case contract gets denied or layoffs and whatnot. And that's always a pro tip that I learned from somebody. They were like, "Yeah, you always want to make sure your stuff is updated because you just never know." So I've been playing around with Figma slides. I actually been kind of looking into how, like, it's been a while since I interviewed, so I'm looking into like how to be a better presenter. Because I think a lot of times, especially when you're doing case studies, like if you might have the best content, but if you're not presenting it well, like that could be a hurt for you for not getting the job. So um, I'm kind of trying to stay prepared if that makes sense. But
Yeah, I also switched over to Figma slides too. And okay, tell me if you experienced this, but I could not figure out how to design in the slide. I was like, how do I just make a rectangle? Because it kept making like a like a text box thing. And I was like, I don't want that. I just want just let me use the regular Figma tools. It took me forever to find the toggle between slide mode and design mode.
yeah, so it's funny enough. Like I was talking to a designer, they were using it, so I just watched what they were doing. That's how I learned because I was like, I had the same issue. I was like,
Oh,
wait, is this like a whole? But it's like it's basically Figma, but you have to kind of toggle between. It's kind of like similar
yes.
to like design and dev mode. It's like all right, you have design and you have like presentation mode or whatnot. So that's been helpful, just kind of watching how other people use it. But
That's smart. I
yeah,
just kind
now
of YOLO'd it. I dropped in. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Just make me a slide.
I was trying it out because I was trying Figma slides. I was trying Keynote. And I was like, all right, let me see. And I tried Keynote and I was like, okay, I can't do it. Because it was kind of a case where it's like, I need to switch computers. And I was like, wait, how do people do this? And then it's like copying the file back and forth. And I was like, all right, let me just use Google's like Figma slides and kind of go from there. But it's been a good experience, and it makes sense since like you can kind of add prototypes in there and reference doc and like so. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, it makes the process of creating these case studies easier because again, I hate them with the passion. So
So when I was in Google Slides, I was trying to use Gemini because they have like the whole make my slide prettier little button. I was like, let's give this a shot. And I tried out. I was like, oh no, 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 no. I even tried coaching it. I was like, don't make these ugly rectangles. I was like, please don't do this. And it just didn't understand what I wanted. So I was like, well, if you can't do this, I might as well just have the freedom to style it the way I want directly in Figma, which I already know how to use. So once I figured out how to get into design mode, it was a breeze.
yeah, I tried out Claude Design and I think I tried Gemini, but it was kind of like, all right, design, give me some inspiration and whatnot. And again, I have thoughts. My thing is like, I want to say I'm the best slide presentation designer, but some of the stuff I was looking at, I was like, I could clearly see I was like, it was done by AI, and it loves using purple. I don't know why. Like purple gradient. I'm like, okay. So it's kind of the case where it's like, I guess you kind of give it, and again, I tried to coach it, but I'm like, after like
Don't use purple.
three,
Anything
I
but
said, don't use purple, don't use this,
don't use
and
M
it
dashes.
even
Don't.
no, but it's still like even some of the content. Like I was trying to read it, and I was like, this doesn't sound like a human being. So it's like you have to like sometimes go in there just do it yourself because again, I tried it and I was like, this is not working for me. Even for the design aspect, I'll kind of design something and kind of use it as like a co-designer, and you can see even like in small details where stuff don't line up, and I was like, okay, like I gotta go in there. So it's not 100% perfect, but that's kind of how I'm trying to use it, where it's like, all right, give me an inspiration for how to showcase these bullet points in a slide, and it'll kind of give me a good rough idea, and then I'll just kind of take that and put into Figma slides. Weird thing enough is like, I guess you could export it as a PowerPoint and then import it into Figma slides, but the design doesn't show up properly. So you still have to go in there and just like make edits, and obviously you can use Figma Make to kind of maybe update the actual styles, but I don't know. Sometimes you just have to go in there because I think sometimes it's easier like that. So
Yeah, I've played around with Figma Make a little bit, and I think the most frustrating part for me is like not being able to right click and inspect what's going on. I want to know, show me, let me customize it. Or like I almost wish there was a pure design mode. I know like the whole thing is like it's about making the thing, but I almost want Figma Make Design and Figma Make Dev almost. Because it's telling you what it's doing. It's like, oh, I'm making like the perfect React component. Like, I don't need a React component. Like, I don't need that. Like, thank you, thanks. You're being a little bit proactive, but I just need the little concept work. So I've been actually using it to get concepts, and then like I take that into Figma, and then like I mess around with it. So I found that workflow a little bit better than trying to do too much in using pure Figma Make prompting.
yeah, that's a good idea. Like I'm wondering because people are talking about how AI is leading to all these layoffs. Do you kind of feel like? I mean, I feel like it's far fetched because again, I'm using these tools and I'm like, wait, I was like trying to one shot designs.
What's replacing me?
Yeah, because I was like, oh, let me see how this is. I was like, all right, create me a dashboard. And again, it it looks good, but in some cases, I was like, you still need some human beings. But I'm just wondering, like, do you think AI is leading to all these layoffs, or people are just gassing or
I
hyping it
mean,
up?
I think it's very dependent on what kind of like thing that you're working on. Like if you're working on something that if you're like working at something like an agency where you're just like spitting out like white label things, then yes, I think AI could handle a lot of the customizations. But I'm like worried about when you're just vibe coding the baseline and then you don't have that strong structural integrity. Like no one knows how the heck anything actually works. So when you start building on top of it, now you're just adding amount of tech debt, and it's just going to compound over time.
Yeah, for sure. I had this saying where it's like, I want to vibe code anything that I don't understand. So for me, it's like, if I'm building a component, I know the expectation of like what looks good, what works well, and whatnot. Like I wouldn't feel confident if I'm like, okay, this like it works. Let me just ship it and whatnot. Because again, a lot of you hear the term AI slop, and it happens a lot where it's like literally, I'm like, all right, build this the component. I look into the styles. Let's say there's probably like 20 styles there, but literally there's paragraphs of comments and whatnot. But I do believe that like if you're a good designer engineer, you're going to be even a better designer engineer with AI because it's going to help with the implementation. I do feel that like especially for stuff that like you mentioned where it's like white label or it's like something super simple, there might be some layouts, but I think this is kind of a case where it's like you kind of have to transform what you do or like what you like the job itself. Because I think especially now, back in the day where people were like purely like front end developers, like, and I'm talking about people that are like, oh, I only do like HTML, CSS. Those jobs are probably going to be gone, but again, you can kind of evolve to something else. And I kind of have a pushback around people are like, oh, I love the craft of it. I'm like, hey, it's it's code, so it's like as long as it works and it's scalable and accessible, that's kind of what I care about. And obviously, like I'm not gonna. I think gone the days where we're like building or writing 100% of the code, but I think it does lend to differ to being more pragmatic, but also learning that our jobs are going to change forever and just kind of like going with the flow. But it's sometimes hard because sometimes you've been doing this for like 20 years and you're like, oh, I gotta change, I gotta learn another tool, like so
That's how I felt when like when React came out. I'm like, I have to learn a new like thing. But yeah, I think it's funny that you mentioned that with AI, like you don't need to necessarily just be like a pure HTML, CSS stuff, because like AI just knows how to get things to work. It just knows like it functions, but it doesn't really care that much about accessibility or semantic element usage or things that would impact screen readers. And I know there are a bunch of skills that people are writing, which is great. I love seeing new accessibility focused skills that people are publishing. I think that's like the right direction to make sure that things are being built correctly with AI, but it still makes me anxious if people aren't using those things or they're just kind of like building complete things without looking at any of it.
maybe it's me, but I haven't seen a well-known product
Mm-hmm.
that is 100% or mostly vibe coded
Well, you
that
haven't
people
seen
are
my
using.
app yet. I'm just kidding. Challenge accepted. Just you wait.
Again, if I don't, if I might be looking in the wrong place, so I was like, is there a vibe? Like, I'm looking for something that's like someone is just like one person is just prompting. They're like, all right, build me this feature, one shot in it, and it looks good, it feels good. There's no downtime. Yeah, if anyone knows, like, feel free to add it. But yeah, it's something where I'm like cautious about because I was like, what if something breaks? What if Claude goes offline for a couple hours? Like, what
Oh my, then all
do you
hell will
work?
break loose.
And it has happened where I'm like, I was like, oh damn, what should I do? And I had to go in there and just like
But
by
like,
hand, and I was like,
yes, it's been down, but then I find that there's another AI solution. Like when one falls, another one rises,
another replaces it.
another replaces it. But yeah, I think it's hard, like because we're talking about quality, right? And I think about that quite a bit, especially when in this day and age when we're applying to jobs, and you have to fill out a bunch of fields, and thankfully a lot of that now is like automated through your resume. But there are things like you have to write your cover letter and then tailor your resume, and there are products that automatically do that for you, and they like apply through AI to all these different open roles. Um, I haven't been going down that route. I feel it almost feels like online dating in a way. It's like, yeah, like I guess it's the whole swipe left, swipe right type of thing.
Oh yeah, you always want to be the architect or like guiding the AI, and I've done it where I use it a lot for content, and I do my version first, and then I'm like, hey, can you update this using my tone? And it does a good job sometimes, but other times it'd be like sounding like a robot, or sometimes I'm like, wait, I don't even speak like that. And it's funny because you go on LinkedIn and you know there's people that I know personally, and then I see them on LinkedIn and they be sounding like a scholar, and I'm like, okay, this so
If
I try to like
4 paragraphs, I know you didn't write this. If it's
it'd be like, today I ate a sandwich, and then I'm like, hey, how does a sandwich lead to something around design systems and whatnot? And I'm like, okay, you definitely didn't write this, but hey, I'm not no shame, but maybe a little shame, but I think that's kind of the idea around that, and I think for applying, I think things are getting harder because people are using AI to screen candidates, and but then people are using AI to kind of improve their resume. So it's kind of like this battle between two sides of which AI is gonna win the battle. But it's definitely new age because I think people are trying, especially if you're like a recruiter, like you're probably going to use some sort of automated tool to kind of like, I get the emails all the time and they were like, hey, like I love your portfolio. And I was like, my portfolio is not it's
yeah,
not available to the public. So how you know you love my portfolio? So it's kind of like you kind of have to understand the game and play it too, which is unfortunately, but it is what it is.
yeah, I've seen like some companies try and like combat all the AI applications because it's nuts. Like when I go to LinkedIn and I see a job and I see it posted 7 minutes ago, there's already 100 applications for this job. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. And so like I feel bad for recruiters because like it used to be hard. Like, there used to be lots of applications, but now I'm sure it's even triple or even 5, 10 times the amount of applications, especially you're fighting both the AI applications and the layoffs. So there's so many people unemployed and there's AI tools to apply to a billion jobs. So it's like real how do real applications make it through? So I've seen some jobs post like make a video. What do you think about like the whole like record yourself for jobs?
I mean, I prefer that versus because you go. I remember I was looking at this one application and it was like, all right, add your resume, and then the next step it was like 10 questions, and I was
Yeah.
like, I know I had to know 10 questions, and it was like questions you have to think about. It's like, yeah, so tell me when the time that you use. I'm like, okay, and it was like 10 of them, so it's like you have to. But I get it because if I'm looking at it from the like employer side of things, they probably get it where it's like if you just asking for an application, you just asking for a resume, you're gonna get way more people. And then from what I've heard when talking to recruiters, they were like, yeah, literally like almost 50 to 60% is not good because they don't have the experience or they didn't answer the question. So I think that's a way to like filter out the like like the bad candidates for like the good candidates.
Mhm.
And I guess it gets even trickier because I think that's why a lot of times they do the video, because with video you can't hide from that. It's like it's kind of you're kind of exposing how you talk and talk about things, whatnot. The only issue I see is like some people are not good public speakers, so I think that's a thing that I could kind of see where it's like if you're good at selling, like you probably are doing well in these video interviews because you're polished and whatnot. So, but I prefer that because I see again 20 like 10 questions and you have to kind of think about it. I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna go out to this, but even a hack is just kind of like you have to kind of find out someone that works there or the recruiter itself, because you kind of skip that whole process if they think you're a good candidate, um, but sometimes it doesn't work out like that. But I think that's kind of been my hack where I'm like, I need to either get the recruiter or the hiring manager, because if you do that, like you're going to skip the whole applying to the portal, and then you get like 5 minutes later you get a rejection, which I've experienced. So
Uh, yeah. Yeah, I recently did one where it was just audio only, and that was nice too. Like you don't have to worry about a camera or anything. I think that may have been my favorite type of process.
Uh, I'm wondering how, like, first of all, I'm wondering if people actually, is either people listening or they have it where
An AI is
all,
listening to your is listening to your
no, because that's what I kind of think. Because I'm like, wait, if they use audio, like, so you expect a recruiter or a hiring manager to be like, all right, I got 100 of these let me just click through
let me
each of
just
them. Like, no.
well, you're like, on a treadmill listening to these like
I was like,
no.
they ain't doing that. Maybe we need to talk to a recruiter just to see, like, how things are,
Yeah,
how the game
how
changed.
do you review all of these resumes? Yeah, we should if you're listening and you're a recruiter, please let us know and come on the show and we can talk to you.
Yeah, it's interesting, um, but I'm wondering, like, with all the stuff around the layoffs, recruiting, AI, what's your like general feelings? Because I think you hear people saying like, "Oh man, this is like, is this like a bubble?" Because that's all I'm thinking. Because I'm like, yo, this can't be it forever. But maybe this is the new normal. So I'm just kind of wondering like if that's the case. Like, should people adapt to the newer times, and how should we adapt? So
I think I mean I still have hope and I know some people have lost hope and they've like gone to like a completely different career track, which is super cool and like kudos. I still feel like my heart is still in tech and there's still problems to solve by a human. And I still think there are unique things that people still bring that you can't solve through just pure technology. But how about you?
yeah, I'm the same. So a lot of what I do is kind of like people are the foundation. Um, so I think how I'm approaching a lot of things, especially in this new world working, where it's like I still want to add the aspect of like empathy and understanding people, their problems, and whatnot, and then using AI to kind of accelerate that. And again, a lot of the stuff is around people, problems, and whatnot. So that's kind of how I try to do it. I'm not trying to leave because I was kind of thinking about, like, maybe I open a coffee shop in Brooklyn, but I was like, wait, stop it. Do I really want to own a coffee shop or whatnot? Because it has its own problems and whatnot. So
Well, if you
I
need a
think that's
brand
the one thing.
designer, I'm happy to spin up a logo for you.
Because I was wondering, I was like, coffee shop. This is like everyone drinks coffee. But again, I think every person in tech wants to get out of tech. Anyone that's not in tech wants to get in tech. So it's kind of like the grass is always greener. But again, for me, it's always a case where it's like I want to solve real problems and whatnot. So that keeps me grounded. So you just have to kind of figure out what works for you and just kind of go from there. So yeah.
Cool, cool. Well, this is fun. Thanks for listening, everyone. Have a great day.
See ya. We want to thank you for tuning into this episode. For more content, feel free to explore our previous episodes on codeandpixels.fm. And don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter for updates on upcoming episodes. Also, feel free to connect with us on social media at Code and Pixels FM. Y'all have a great day.